We're on for another Tru-Mon show. Welcome everybody. Janik, your host. I'm with Jimmy and Mara. How are you guys?
Very good,
Awesome to
thanks.
be here. Yes, good to be
Perfect.
here.
Today we're gonna talk about the silent wars of the psychopaths because yeah, they are silent, and but I think the biggest war that we're in is a psychological warfare. I'm sure you can pretty much agree with me, but I think Jimmy wants to expand on certain stuff, so I'll let you go, Jimmy, and take the mic at start.
Okay. There's a document that's online in several places that people can actually go look up and read for themselves, and I highly recommend it. It's if you Google "silent weapons for quiet wars."
Yes.
It started out as research in World War II, military research, trying to figure out the best way to battle other enemies and that kind of thing. You know, typical military intelligence. But then once the world elite got a look at it, and they thought, hey, we can use this to socially engineer people and to control the world in even a more efficient and better way than we already have been, you know, through the banking systems and things like that. So they really put a lot of time and effort into developing these systems. Through the after World War II, around 1947, they really started getting into it. In 1954, many people say that it was actually adopted at the Bilderberg meeting in 1954 as their basic plan of action for social engineering the world and basically taking over everything. So it's a fascinating document. It's amazing when you read it, and you can actually see how a lot of these things have been implemented in our world today and carried out. So they're well along in their plan. I mean, they basically got everything totally under control. And
I
Mara
think
and
they
I
got
were,
everything covered. They got every angle covered. They prepare for that, and also I printed the note that the guy suicidal or something. You sent me a link, and
yeah, that
the suicide himself in New York or something like that. He shot himself in the head. An agent, an immigration agent.
yeah,
Yes, I
ICE,
heard
you know,
that too.
immigration
Yes.
Yeah,
agent. Yeah, it's
yeah,
really pretty horrible. And
yeah.
but you know, by him doing that and leaving that note and it becoming published, it's a pretty stern warning for all of us to, you know, look at these things.
I was,
Uh,
I
you
was,
know,
I was a bit on shock, Jimmy, when I started to read it. I was like, "Whoa, it's worse than we ever begin to imagine." That's the thing.
Well,
Go.
since you guys have read the document, could you tell
Yeah.
everyone
No,
the essence of it?
yeah, we're gonna read it, but I just want to let Jimmy go on a bit, and I'm gonna read it for you after. That's why I printed it.
Yeah, or else we can just talk about it if you know about it. Go ahead, Jimmy.
yeah,
What does it say?
I think that you know, basically when you read through that Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, you realize how the elite view us. You know, a lot of us have heard these things before. You know, they've used terms like useless eaters and the bewildered herd and
Oh
things
my
like that. That's the way
God.
they refer to people. They consider themselves so intellectually superior that they have the right to dominate and control us and use us in any means that they see fit because they see themselves as, you know, not only capable but entitled to that type of thing. It's sort of like the attitude of royalty and that kind of thing, which is absolutely absurd. But most people are so focused on just survival and trying to get through their daily lives. They don't even look at things like this, and they need to though, because it's like the boiling frog syndrome that we've talked about before, where you know you put a frog into a pan of water and you begin to turn the heat up slowly, 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 and eventually the frog is cooked and never jumps out because the heat has been raised so slowly he never notices that he's actually being cooked. And that's really a good metaphor for what's happening in our world today. All of these systems of control and domination and have been slowly creeping up on us and been gradually rolled out over the last several decades to where people don't question them and see them as being, something to be concerned about in their lives, because the media has told them that all these things are necessary, and the whole thing with the battling terrorists and all these made-up enemies. This is all part of how they are able to accomplish this. But what we have to do is, our responsibility as those who can see through this stuff is to share it with other people, and as many people as possible, so that hopefully we can stop this thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna read the note because it's very, but it's very harsh also. Like, there's people that are gonna hear that and they're gonna be like, okay, whoa, what's going on? But I was like that too. But anyway, I'm gonna read it, and like, I don't say that this is the truth and nothing. At least it's a part of the truth, because I think we all hold a part of the truth. So anyway, it's something to look at. It's worth considering it. If the American people knew what this government is planning, this would rise up and overthrow it. If I or anyone else in the federal government reveal what is coming, we would be killed anyway. So now I will reveal what I know. We, in federal law enforcement, have been drilling for several years to control riots and uprisings, from a coming financial collapse and widespread bank failures. The drills involve life-sized image of American men, even women and children, whom we are told to shoot for practice and to get used to it.
Oh my God.
We have been told that the economy is terminally ill and will fail in 2016. We are also told the banks are all insolvent and the FDIC doesn't have nearly enough funds to bail out depositors. We are told these events are unavoidable, and it is imperative that the government survive when people rise up over this. When the collapse takes place, detention camps created under FEMA Rex 84 program in the 1980s to house illegal aliens whom we were going to deport will instead be used to imprison American citizens whom the government feels constitute a threat. American citizens will be rounded up without warrants and imprisoned without trial for knows how. These camps have been equipped to carry out scale killings, an actual purge of American citizens by the very government which they themselves created and pay for. I cannot be party to this.
Wow.
The government knows the military will rise up to stop this, so our military is being deployed overseas and intentionally involved in foreign fights, so they cannot be here to help Americans. This is why certain ammunition and weaponry has been removed from state-level National Guard armories, and over 1 billion rounds of hollow point ammunition has been bought by the federal government. The states themselves have been disarmed or disarmed of military-grade firepower, so they cannot defend themselves from the federal activities. This is also why local police departments have been militarized and provided with armored vehicles and weapons of war, the note says. When the inevitable collapse begins to take place, electric power to the entire country will be shut off, as will all forms of communication. All banks will be immediately closed. No one will be able to get any money because all ATMs will be offline. Credit, debit, and EBT cards will function. Anyone without cash will have no way to get any.
Oh my goodness.
The alert will be used to take over all broadcast stations and tell the public this is a result of a cyber attack. But while the American people patiently await things to get back to normal, the government will unleash rounds up of citizens they deem militants or dangerous. With all civilian communications out and all TV and radio stations taken over by the emergency alert system, by the time word spreads of what is taking place, the federal agent coming to take their guns, then their food stock, so food can be redistributed as the government sees fit. Yeah. So that's pretty much, it's very heavy, like it's very, the guy wrote other stuff too, but that's the main part of the note. But
Well,
yeah, what's going on in America, guys? You both here. I don't know what when all this shut down, when they shut down the bank, because at one point the dollar, the American dollar, they've been devaluing it. I think the dollar lost 95 cents in the dollar since its implementation. So,
Yep.
you know, so it's just a matter of time before the whole thing collapses. And that's what they want. They want to put America back to back. They are in bankruptcy still, but they want to really bankrupt them. I think it's clear.
well, I put a few posts on today that one of them was about Obama behind closed doors, already with the secret government sitting and telling everyone that huge disasters are coming. The head of NASA came out in front of everyone and saying that, oh, get ready for a huge electrical shortage in the United States. Get ready for a cyber attack. So this has been planned, and the blindness of the American public to this is very surprising. The ignorance is so huge that no one, the frog syndrome that you were talking about, Jimmy, is so true, because I mean, this is happening. I took some notes about the silent war that is happening. I just read them, and then if you guys want to talk about it, first of all, artificial intelligence is way more advanced than we ever know or imagine. This the transhumanism and also trans animal and human combinations is pretty advanced, and none of us even know about it. So that's another war that is happening in the dungeons of the darkness of the system. Then the CERN, that I mean, a lot of people are doing a lot of research on, but CERN is going on, and what they're doing electromagnetically or interdimensionally with that HARP, as we know it, the chemtrails, the GMOs, and Monsanto's poisons, like the way that the Brazilian children are becoming hydrocephalic because of it, but they say it is Zika virus. It's all Cold War, because it's not Zika virus. There is no viruses involved. It is all what is called glycophosphates and the Roundup that they're adding to everything. And I read somewhere that the entire California wines are very high in glycophosphates. Is that how you call them, the Roundup?
Glyphosate.
Glyphosate. Okay, and then we go to the high electromagnetic death fields that are also beyond our imagination powerful, that we cannot even imagine what they're doing to us. Then it comes to the TV and the master control through our cameras and our TVs and our computers, and then all the subliminal everything of showing the truth in the hidden Hollywood movies to control our minds. And here we go. I mean, this is getting deeper and deeper. I mean, the rabbit hole is even bigger than any of us have ever thought. This is huge organized action behind closed doors for, what, 1,500 years?
Yeah, this is...
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is so massive. We're literally being attacked on every front. We're from the air, from our water with fluoride in the water, the chemtrails in the air, the GMO foods, the vaccines. I mean, you name it. We are being attacked from every angle, and it's the slow kill method. And they truly want to cull the herd, as they refer to us. And if you read the Georgia Guidestones, which were put up in the 70s in the state of Georgia in the United States, it states pretty clearly in there in several different languages that they want to reduce the population of the Earth down to 500 million people.
Yes.
That is their goal. So, and there's also another. I posted on my Facebook page yesterday. There's another scientist that came out and was talking about another type of pesticide that's being used, which affects males and their
Yes.
reproductive capability, and also and things like that. And also it changes their hormonal makeup to where they have much more female hormones than male. And this is another way that they're chemically attacking us as well. It's insidious. It's evil. It's unbelievable what they're doing to us. And this is the battle that's going on. And most people are completely oblivious to it.
Well, what you were saying, they're actually doing it to laboratory animals that by adding this Monsanto, is it a Monsanto chemical that they add, and these frogs and these animals become transgender. They don't know what they are, whether they're male
Right.
or female. So the same thing is happening to us. And as we see, there is a huge propaganda of transgenderism all over the world now.
Yeah. And it's all part of that same system.
Yeah, but you know, when you said, Jimmy, when you said they want to kill the herd, yeah, they want to kill the herd, but I think the herd is killing itself also, because we're so far down, out of sync with our true nature, that we're killing ourselves. It's like I'm not obligated to eat their Babylon food and to eat their Babylon crap, and we can awake. We have the choice to awake. You can be awake in life and rise above the negative things. So I think we're tuning ourselves. That's why it's important to come out and speak your mind and share the truth, because people don't even know what's happening.
Yeah, a huge part of the problem is that most people are, number one, very trusting and gullible at the same time, because they really think that, because they would never imagine doing anything this horrible and this evil, that they can't imagine how anybody else could. And that is one of the main reasons why these people are able to get away with it, because the average person cannot fathom that type of evil, that type of, just completely destructive type of activity, where these people are self-serving. They could care less about anybody else. They have no compassion. They have no connection to their soul whatsoever, or their heart. They have no heart. It's all on an intellectual level. It's about ego, domination, and control. And the average person can't fathom somebody like that. And that's why they have such a difficult time believing that that's even possible. And that complicates things much further, because when we effort to get these messages out to people, they have an extremely difficult time of believing that it's even possible, because they can't imagine being that way. But these people have no problem doing it, none whatsoever.
And also they dismiss it. They dismiss it right away by saying that, look, it's always been this way and it will always stay this way. This is human nature. We have always been at war. There's always bad guys. There are always good guys. And that is the biggest brainwash that has happened during all these years, because we don't know what our history or the true story is. We think that we're warmongers, and we don't know about our nature, that is peacemaker and compassionate and caregiver and love person. We have given all of that up. But then when you look at France and Iceland, like millions of people on the streets, you really wonder, at what base American people have been brainwashed so deeply that they cannot even get up and do anything. And then they have also all this propaganda that protest won't do anything. Of course, it's like the same thing that if a slave master have slaves, they're going to advertise that the slaves, by protesting, you get nothing anyway, so just let go with that. Are you kidding? If everyone just leaves everything and gets on the streets and really dismantle the system, that's not going to get anywhere.
I think whatever form of protestation, whether it's coming out on YouTube or going in the street in masses and millions of people, like they did in Brazil back a few months ago. Come on, it's like it's like on YouTube. I see both things. I see the French side of the YouTube flat Earth and the English side of the YouTube flat Earth. I go make video about flat Earth on YouTube on the English side, on English, in English, and you don't get so many trolls or shills, call them whatever you want, the people that try to stop their stuff, trolls or whatever. Call them trolls.
Yes.
So you don't have so many now in English because there's like 5 to 6 million videos. So they feel a bit out of place. They know we're outnumbering them, and they know we have the truth. So, but when I post in French, oh my God, there's like 40,000, so it's nothing. So I get attacked constantly by people in French, constantly attacked by cement of the mind, stupid people that don't even know. There's a guy that came the other day and told me that he went high enough and he saw the curve. I started to laugh. I laughed so hard. I almost pissed my pants. I'm like, you're not fucking serious. You told me you seen a curve? Hello? Nobody's seen a freaking curve, but you seen it? Hello? We're arguing. We're 5 million videos, maybe 2 million people are trying to expose it on YouTube that there's no curve, and you come and tell me there's a curve? What? I swear, it's a mathematical curvature. It's in your head, the curve. There's no curve. There's no curve anywhere. So nobody, anyway. So the flat Earth, the flat Earth is something. It's something. So yeah, so on the French side of that's where I say that psychological warfare takes place a lot. It's people, we're creating it. We're arguing over nonsense, even on the English part. That's what I said in one of my videos on my other channel. I said all those egos and separation and false pride after stuff. Look, we're all working for the same goal here, is to wake up humanity. So whether it's concave, flat, convex, whatever, but not convex because it's a ball, but whatever shape, but nobody knows the shape anyway. Nobody went high enough to know the total shape of the Earth, and it's way too big. But like I said, just look at their numbers. They're so ridiculously small or ridiculously big. So it's just that. But, people have cement in there, and I don't know why they don't want to see it. It's so easy to see the truth. What's hard to uncover is the lies, but the truth is so easy to see because it's in plain sight. But the lies are heavy sometimes, yeah. So you have to research and maybe dig a little bit more, but I think the truth is in plain sight. We should all see it. We should all embrace this awakening that we're in, but there's people that still have cement in there, and I don't know what's going on, but first of all, I think it's to move out of the comfort zone, and you have to get out of your little comfort thinking, of your little everyday life, because it's going to shake up your reality. But come on, it's the greatest time to be alive. Everybody's speaking out. Everybody's speaking out. So what? You're going to stay on the sideline and watch the train pass by? And no, come on, jump in. So that's why we're on, and it's important. So whatever form of protestation you have, whether it's on YouTube or me, I do it on YouTube because that's where I do it. But if you go in the street, yeah, for sure, to one point, if you're millions of people will look, the masses will always look where the majority is, because that's what they've been doing all their life, going with the herd, like going always with the majority of the people. But when you find yourself, I find when you find yourself in the majority, it's time that you take a pause and reflect, because you're not at the right place. You should not be. There's something wrong. If you're with the masses, something wrong. Move out. Then it's anyway. Go ahead, Mari.
Well, there are two sides to it. You see, spirituality without grounded political action, it's not really fit. It doesn't get anywhere. And also, political action without spirituality is lame. So, what's going on, for example, when people of Iceland get on the streets by millions and they put all their bankers in the jail? I mean,
Yeah,
that is critical political action that we have been systematically trained not to do. Why? Because our aggression, our anger, our masculinity, our right action have been taken away from us as a slave mentality. And it's very, very important at this time to recognize that it has to be at all levels. Because you see, you can be not, I don't mean you, but I mean I can be believing and knowing that we live on a flat geocentric Earth, yet I'm still paying my taxes, let's say, continue paying your taxes, continue paying your tickets, continue, obeying the system, and still not much is happening. The bankers don't care as much as we want to talk about flat Earth or whatever. It has to be hand in hand together. I mean, most of the changes of the world, I mean, internet is the biggest change that right now because we can connect together, yet most of the changes of the world has happened when the people have had it up to their throat and they use their functional anger and frustration to come out, which is systematically skilled within all of us to just be polite and act nice. We cannot do that anymore. This has to change somehow. So I really praise millions of people that are getting, and I really wish that the people of the United States get up and do something about it. And at the same time, the people in Iceland or France, they're on the streets trying to make all these revolutions, and at the same time, they have no idea that they've been fooled, and they still think they're living on a ball.
yeah, yeah. But there's one thing we have to be conscious about too, is that
Yeah.
we live in that system, and the tools that are in place, like you said, it doesn't go without political action or something like that. So for sure we have to play their game and use their tools. Like we're not gonna kick them out of our reality from one day to another. No, we're gonna have to go in courts. We're gonna have to use their tools
Yes.
to get rid of them, and that's how we're gonna create a revolution. It's when people start to really have enough and they start really take massive action. And hello,
And
there's something
I
going on
hope
over
that's not. I hope it's not too late. As Jimmy was saying, the frogs are being cooked. I hope when people actually wake up, it's not late. At least in this country, I don't know. But that's happening in South America and everywhere too. Like Nicaragua, and right now they mark them with numbers for shopping, and they're controlling their life at all levels. So
Yeah,
here
in
we go.
Venezuela. Yeah,
In
Venezuela.
Venezuela, or
Yeah,
okay,
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
They're in total meltdown in that place. It's just they've completely destroyed that country, and that's a testing ground that they've used to see how those things are going to work. Once they totally collapse the society,
they have
Venezuela is being used as the guinea pig for them to gauge how they react to it and how they manage it, how they control it. Sadly. And it's interesting that in France you've got all these people protesting, but you don't hear about it on our mainstream news. They're not
No, of course
talking about
not.
it.
This is
And
the thing. In Europe, I believe they are much more awake than in America.
oh
Canada
yeah,
and US together. They're awakening much faster than us.
oh yeah, yeah. The U.S. is by far the most dumbed down country in the world. We have been subjected to the most severe mind control and social engineering of any country in the world, and it's because that we have the most potential to, rise up and stop these people. We have the most innovators, some of the best thinkers. So they've spent a lot more time and energy trying to dumb down the American people. And when we talk about why people don't wake up, so much of their sense of personal security is wrapped in their belief systems. So when you start rattling their cage to that extent where you're having them question their core belief systems, most people can't go there. they are not secure enough within themselves to have that type of an open mind to be able to question their own reality and their own belief systems. That's extremely difficult for them to do, and that, again, that is by design too. If we had strong family units, people would be far more secure within themselves, but we've got 2 or 3 generations now of vast amounts of people coming from broken homes and dysfunctional homes and you know, homes where all kinds of horrible abuse takes place, and the state coming in and involving themselves in families, and you know, all these things have contributed to the psyches of human beings, especially in this country, and made them very insecure, so that they rely on their own belief systems rather than their own core essence with themselves.
You know,
And okay, go ahead.
it's not
Go
a
ahead,
random.
Yanni.
It's not a random thing. Also, that the government get so involved in our life now. There's a, you know, the government daycare. I don't know if it's like that in U.S., but here in Quebec, almost all the daycares are under the tutel of the government of Quebec. So that means that they decide the program inside the daycare. So it starts now. It starts right in the daycare. The indoctrination, the brainwash, the space stuff, all the nonsense starts in daycare, and after that it's preschool, the school. So we're so brainwashed and conditioned, and it's unbelievable. And the government, you know, they're there to control the mind, so for sure they're gonna go everywhere they can.
Well, the point that you know, we have to get licensed for everything. We need a license for marriage. We have a license to work. We need their permission to eat. We need to have their permission to have water in our houses. We cannot collect the rainwater. It's becoming a crime in the United States to collect rainwater on your property. If you're a homeless, you cannot sleep on the street, on their streets. I mean, it goes deep and deep. You cannot, and also you cannot opt out of the system that they have created by any means. So it goes on. And Jimmy, as you were saying, you know, I mean, people here are going through more divorces, and the family unit is falling apart in the United States. Yet the family unit is falling apart almost everywhere. Because when you go with the one world order, which is coming into the lives of everyone, permitting everyone to be transgender and transvestite and homosexual and eat McDonald's and Coca-Cola and get the Roundup in your system and the fluoride in your system, like in my original country, coming from Iran, I hear that almost every single family is falling apart, but people are going from one partner to the next. Polyamory is heavy duty everywhere. It's like it's not a joke.
You know, we used to have a world with all kinds of different cultures and different, which was very, very nice because we are all different. We're all different, so we come from different countries and stuff like that. But now, what it is you go to Montreal, and downtown Montreal and downtown Tokyo is the same. It's not. There's not much difference there. It's the same stores, the same Babylon system. It's the same crap all over the plane, everywhere. So it's the same system everywhere. So for sure, and the blue ball is everywhere. You go in Japan, you're gonna see the blue ball in schools. You're gonna see that blue ball everywhere. So that's why we want to expose that madness of the blue ball and all their satanic stuff, because it's all over the place. So for sure.
Okay.
So where do we go from here? I think number one, we have to keep talking about this, and we will. Number two is that once people realize what's going on, we've got to just stop cooperating with these systems. And we use our money to change things as well. Don't buy GMO foods. Don't buy the junk food. Don't buy all the crap that they're selling us. If people stop buying this crap, they would all go out of business. I mean, that's a huge thing right there that we can do. That's very simple. Doesn't require anything controversial. You use your money to spend it on things that are worthwhile. You buy more from the local mom and pop shops. You don't go into all the big corporate, stores as much as you can. And by moving in this direction, we can make changes that way. And then we have to find a way also to get to the police and the military to make them more aware of the system that they're serving. Because without the order followers, and I keep coming back to this, and I did actually did my own video about order followers, and there's lots of good ones out there. But without these guys, the world elite have nothing. They have nothing. So tyranny cannot exist without the order followers, who are the hammer of tyranny. They're the ones who carry out the orders. They're the ones who shoot people. They're the ones who go to war and slaughter innocent people. These men are basically immoral. They have given up their free will and their morality for not much money, that's for sure. Some of them got the signing bonuses to join the military and things like that. But these people, they have to be educated, and the ones that support them, their wives and their girlfriends who cheer them on, oh, heroes, the war heroes, aren't they wonderful? No, they're not. We need to change that whole concept. And if you'll notice, there's such a huge PR that's associated with building up and appealing to the egos of these men. Like, for instance, if you have a football game in the United States, you'll have the military presence there on the field, associating mentally with everybody that sports and military, it's all the same. We're all united and we're all doing great things. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's such a huge fucking lie. Yeah. But you see how they try and associate something that, just a fun football game, guys getting out there and competing with each other, with the military, and putting it on the same level. It's a desensitization process of making us equate the competition on a athletic field with war, which is total insanity. But that is the subtlety of how they market this and how they create those images within the media, so that these guys are like, yeah, I want to be a macho man. I want to get up there. I'm going to fight for freedom and defend my country. Well, bullshit. You're fighting for a bunch of rich old men who control the banks, who control the corporations, who own the governments. That's who you're fighting for. You're not fighting for us. If you were fighting for us, you'd be taking them down. You'd be going after the leaders that are sending you off to these wars to slaughter people. That's who you'd be going after if you're defending freedom.
To serve and protect, it should be to serve and protect us.
The people, yeah, but they're there to serve and protect the system. The very ones that are oppressing us, that's who they're protecting. So we need to try and educate these people in any way possible, and help them understand and wake them up, let them expand their vision so that they can see what they're actually doing. Because without
Jimi,
we can't.
How do you propose that? How do you propose educating them and reaching out to them? Because how?
Well, I would ask, I'm sure there's some military guys out there who are watching this, or somebody knows some military guys out there who are watching this, and a lot of them have woken up and said, I'm not going to participate in this kind of thing anymore. For instance, the Veterans Against the Iraq War, they've got some great YouTube videos where they talk about this, and I think if we can get encourage some of those guys to make their own videos, the more videos that they make, they're the ones that the military guys are going to listen to. They're not going to listen to people like us who have not been in the military, who never wanted to be in the military. They don't consider us a credible source. But when you listen to somebody like Ken O'Keefe, for instance.
Yes, I was going to say that. Yes.
I love that guy. Yes. He is, former Marine. He's been there and done that. And he's seen firsthand what kind of insanity goes on with the military. And he's speaking out against it. Now, we need more people like him, because when people who have experienced these things firsthand talk about it, it holds a lot more impact. And so I would encourage anybody out there who's paying any attention to this at all to talk to people who are either active military or have been in the military, and ask them to speak out if they actually can see the truth of all this. Because if we can get to enough of these guys and appeal to them on a compassionate level, on a moral level, to see what they're doing and what they have done, we can change that. And there's a Veterans Today is a pretty good website. I don't agree with all the stuff they put up there, but basically, if you listen to Gordon Duff, who's one of the main guys on veteranstoday.com, one of the main writers and editors, I've heard him say many, many times, he said, no military man in the U.S. has ever fought for freedom. All wars are contrived. All wars are planned in advance and set up to, for several reasons. They're, number one, to make money for all the industries and all the banks. They profit off a war. Number two, to cull the herd, to kill off a lot of people, to kill off a lot of the strong young men who could possibly come up against these leaders. And so, and also number three, to make political change in the world. And you've seen it in every world war. There's been all these things have occurred. So people need to understand that wars are planned in advance by these same rich old men who run these corporations and these banks. So we've got to create that awareness. But Veterans Today is a pretty good website and a good place for a lot of veterans to start and start reading those articles, because they're telling the truth for the most part from what I've seen. And again, these are veterans talking to veterans, so they have that credibility.
Another thing too is most people in America have no idea what kind of flag they're putting out. Like the flag with the horizontal stripe is the war flag of the U.S. The one with the stripe vertical is the continental flag. So even the flag, every flag you see, and if you see flag with a gold fringe, you see them in the courtroom with the stripe horizontal war flag. So they keep perpetuating that war state everywhere. So even the flag, people think they're very proud to be American or whatever, but they put the wrong flag out. Like all this resonates in the vibrational field, and they know it. They know it. So. Yeah, the flag is just a major thing to know.
Yeah. Well, there are so many things. So, Jimmy, I totally agree with you, and also Yannick, there are just so many things we don't know with the symbols that are in all of our lives that we have no idea that they're the symbols of control. And also,
each and every citizen in the United States is a state. There's 390 million states in the United States. There's not 52 or 52, I don't remember, but every citizen in the United States is a state, is a part of the. So everything is so mixed up, and just the jurisdiction also is the law of the sea and not the law of the land. It should be ruled by the law of the land, but no, we're all ruled by the law of the sea, by the English monarchs and all that stuff. So they make the law and the Pope, and so everything is mixed up, and that's why it's important to speak out and make some.
So if we go to the roots of all of this, as a part of the conversation about order followers and the psychopaths who control our world, it goes very deep. It's not just of course the order followers, the military men are the most dangerous because they're the ones with the guns and they can get rid of and kill millions of people without having any heart or feel anything about it. Yet the people who are watching them doing that and not feeling anything about it are as equally distorted and the cause of this whole problem too, even though they're not shooting their guns, but they're shooting the guns of the mind and the heartlessness that is within this whole thing. What do you want to say? Go ahead. You were going to say something?
The corrupt Einstein guy said, this world will not be destroyed by the people who do the madness, but will be destroyed by the people who look and know and do nothing for it. Like we
Yeah,
all know there's something wrong with the world, but we all choose to sit on the sideline and live in the comfort zone and never. Everybody think they want to know the truth, but they don't want to know more than they want to. They need to know to live a happy life. So that's why it's very important to research. And there's so much. It's once you start discovering all that stuff, especially the flat earth, because me, that's what brought me on YouTube. I knew the world was corrupt, but nothing was really touching me to the core to make me go out on YouTube, except when I realized they were lying on the shape of the earth. I'm like, whoa, 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 everything, the whole world is a lie now. The whole world is a lie. So what I'm going to do is sit there and do nothing? I've been sent here. Like, the thing is, when I saw the world with open eyes, also, you have to see the world with open eyes. Then I realized I was here to change it. If you don't see the world with open eyes, you will never realize that you're here for a purpose. You're here for a calling. You're not just a random speck. So open your eyes. You want science? I told it before. Open your eyes. Go outside. Experience nature.
yes,
Stop. Close the books, and go outside. For
beautiful.
heaven's sake.
Yes, well, Flat Earth also made my mission much, much, much deeper than all
Yeah.
times, and it made it very clear that the issue is way, way bigger than any of us thought. So going back to the war, the silent wars, which is the topic of this discussion, as I was saying, I just wanted to add one more thing, that besides the huge bombing of millions of innocent citizens all over the world, there is another war going on, and that is the war, as we said, one is the dismantling of the family unit, and then the other one is the war within the family units. I mean, I mean, most of, to tell you a personal thing, most of men I have ever dated in my life have been completely abused by their parents. I don't know why. They were badly abused by their mothers, especially. And they were all scared of the female, a strong female character, because they were beaten up to death sometimes by their own mothers, and then alcoholic fathers that had stopped it. So the war is deep within the family units, and that's why I always bring it to the personal thing, that we have to stop the inner wars within each one of us, and then within our new family, like you guys are my new family, the entire flat earth, the tutors, the people who are working against the chemtrails, they're all my family now. It's like, how are we going to stop the wars between us, put our minds together, unite in action in some ways, and really bring it to the personal lives, and rise up and shine in a real, true way.
Yeah, that's what the world needs. That's what the world needs. That's why we're here. But I believe that more and more people are waking up. It's not something, we're not going back in dormancy here. The world is waking up. I can feel it every day. But I mean, I would like to have more people locally too, because I think the real change, first of all, the real change starts with what you put in your plate. That's another big silent war. It's what they put inside our food. So the real change, if you want to start making a change in the world, starts with what you put in your plate. People find that normal to eat animals. I mean, what is there? Like, to me, I don't know. The vegan stuff is a topic that we can go on and on and on. But for sure, I don't know. Maybe if I would be stuck in a forest, for sure, I would probably go after a deer or something to eat. But I
I
mean, here
wouldn't.
in
I
no, but
wouldn't.
if I would be stuck, I mean, what? I don't know. Hey, listen, I'm not close to anything, because anything can happen. So at one point, if it comes to survival, if it comes to survival, and I have to I'm not gonna, for sure, I'm gonna do something to survive. Either eat the trees or eat an animal or whatever. But in a society where I live today, I don't think it's necessary to industrially farm animals. This is where the madness takes place and the slaughter takes place. But to say that I will never eat an animal if I'm stuck in a whoa. I'm not a, I was going to say a saint, but I don't want to be a saint anyway. But I mean, I'm not I don't know. Listen,
Well,
I'm on this plane
well,
I think you understand my point.
yeah, of
I'm
course.
not an
And
animal eater, but if it comes to it, for my survival, hello, but I will eat fish before. I'll eat fish before. Here, I'll
okay.
eat fish before.
Survival is one thing, but you know what we're seeing with all of these animals being prepared for
Yes.
slaughter, and this is blood sacrifice. And it's, you know, you just look in the Old Testament or the Torah, or you know, all these talking about sacrificing animals to the gods and all this. This is massive blood sacrifice of the animals, and we're seeing the wars are massive blood sacrifice of human beings. You know, the world leaders are satanic psychopaths.
Yeah.
And the entities that are controlling them demand this type of ritual, this type of sacrifice. For some, who knows what reason, energetically, they get something out of it. So that's why this is being done. And there's an energy exchange. These entities are helping these psychopaths gather more world power, which is what they're after. And in exchange, they promote all this blood sacrifice. And I know some people that, you know, they just said, well, that's just crazy talk. But I mean, look what's happening. Look what's happening. You've got factories now. You've got they've got machines that herd up the chickens in just like you would, you know, a crop of wheat. You know, it sweeps them up into a conveyor belt. They get sucked into this thing, and it's absolutely insane. And then, you know, a lot of these animals are slaughtered. They're still alive, and they're, you know, kicking and, you know, being put up on hooks, and
It's
it's
horrible.
You know,
It's horrible.
yeah,
just horrible.
there is no humane way of killing an animal. There is no humane way. And then once anyone, even the ones that eat a lot of meat, once they see, majority of people, if they see what goes on with the killing of these animals, they would not continue doing it because it's really gross.
Yeah,
At
and
any rate,
if I would have to go out myself and kill the animal to eat it, to have it on my plate, I'm not sure I would do that anyway. So people don't go out and kill the animal.
exactly.
They
Right.
just go and collect it to the supermarket, and so they remain totally unconscious of what's going on behind the curtain, and they just put it on their plate and shove it in their mouth, and they eat like pig and they look like pig.
Yep.
Yeah, well, one of the best books on that is the Diet for New America. You remember that?
Yeah,
Diet for New America. It
I
came out
remember.
like 20 years ago. John Robbins. It's pretty amazing that how we do not need animals to survive at all. You know, my sister had told my daughter that, oh no, human jaw can tear an animal easily. It's the strongest jaw in nature. It's like what a brainwash. Fuck that is. It's like, no way, this jaw is for grinding. We cannot even tear up a little baby chick apart while it's alive without having a knife or something. And the knife is a symbol of aggression. You know, how do we even know? You know. So anyways, Yannick, when you were saying, I used to think that way, that, oh yeah, I mean, if a disaster happens, which they are getting us ready for a disaster happening, we all should have some reserves of food and water and whatever. We have to be careful with that. But yet at the same time, when I go walk in nature, I can find so much food all the time. Between your own urine and as water source, and also all types of plants that you can find. And if you just have a good reserve of spirulina or chlorella or blue-green algae, which completely makes the body of a whale become that huge, you know, we don't need a lot. The entire four-category food system that they have taught us and brainwashed us with, that you need animal flesh, you need dairy for calcium, and then you need vegetables and the fruit, is fucking wrong. That is something else we have been brainwashed with. We do not need as much protein. We also don't need animal protein because it's making all of our bodies very, very acidic.
You know,
So
we're so all very childish and infant that we need a guide in life. We need a guide to eat, a guide to survive, a guide for school. We need guide like they put those guide alimentaire canadien. You should see that the alimentary guide of Canada, the big alimentary board that they put what you should eat. They tell us what we should eat. That we should
yeah,
eat milk, we should eat meat, we should eat like we at one point we're becoming so unconscious as a whole as humanity that the government and the establishment in place has to tell us what we have to eat. Like another thing I don't really believe in is that all the like if you go vegan you have to take supplement or this like you there's people surviving in Africa with freaking water and rice and freaking potatoes. Why do I need to take all kinds of freaking supplements? Supplement my fucking body with all kinds of vitamin C, vitamin D, K. They have vitamin from A to fucking Z. It's like fucking crazy. It's madness. That too is madness. It's just to sell products.
yeah. That's why we need to have our own gardens and eat our own whole foods, and that's it. That's all we need. I mean, we get so much protein from everything, all the vegetables. Jimmy, go on for that because you were really advertising for the veganism also.
Well, I had a friend of
Are
mine.
you a vegan too, Jimmy?
Yeah,
Okay.
I posted something about that subject, and a friend of mine in town said, "Oh, well, that's crazy because plants scream and cry when you cut
Yeah.
them and that kind of thing." And I thought to myself, this is just insanity, and I don't understand. Well, I do understand because it's the conditioning and it's the programming that make people think in these terms. Our whole so-called nutritional system is based on everything, just like everything else, it's based on profit. It's not based on what's good for anybody. Our whole society is based, our language, everything is based on commerce. It's not based on what's good for people. So that's the problem. We're conditioned to do what's going to make other people money. Whether it's the jobs we do or whether it's the food we eat, how we spend our money, it's all about, siphoning money, from the bottom of the pyramid, which is where we all are, and siphoning this money, it eventually ends up all at the top. This is the system that we have and the way it's designed. And until we recognize it for what it is and start working with each other and cooperating with each other on a more basic human level, that's what we're going to have. But this awareness shift is going on. The question is it going to be enough soon enough before all these other things happen, all these other things that are planned to come down? I'm hoping and I'm praying that it's going to be enough. And I'm hoping that things won't have to get to a very severe level before people would begin to question even more. But that's typically what happens is that people, they tend to be lazy. They just want to do only what they have to do. And until the shit hits the fan, until things really, really get bad and it's in your face, and then people will stop and
even
question.
there are some people that will die. They will die before they change a habit. There are people that prefer to die before they change a habit. They prefer to smoke, keep smoking and dying, and there are other habits. So I don't think even if there's some people that will, but this is not the people we have to concentrate on, because there's people that are blind and will stay blind all their life because they're so deeply conditioned they will never wake up. But there's people that will just tell them a little thing and they will start questioning each and every single thing. Right. That's the people we should target, I think. Because there's people that are so closed up, so much cement in there, crazy. Fucking crazy.
Look,
I get those people every day. I see people like that every day. Closed cement mine. It's like, hello, hello.
Well, look what happened with...
like David Wolf, hold on, Mar. Optically, like David Wolf said, you saw even David Wolf came out to talk about flat Earth.
Yes.
That was great.
That was so awesome. That was so...
right away.
Well,
awesome.
because he
the
has
guy
like...
is so Like,
Yeah, he has
no, it's
six
great. So
million
there's more and
followers.
more people coming out. So
He has six
yeah,
million
6 million
followers. So
followers on Facebook.
yeah, that's really amazing. I forgot what I was going to
Yeah.
say, so go ahead.
No, David, I was very, very happy, and I'm like, wow. But again, like we need. It's those people. Like I said, we have to know who to. Like at one point, there's some people with who you just waste energy. There's nothing to do to wake them up. But there's other people that I get so pumped up, so into it. Like I get to them and I see the spark in their eye, and now I just bang, 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 and I nail it all the way to the end, and then they, they,
Okay.
they wake up, they see the world the way I see it, because it's the same thing with your children. You want your children to see the world the way you see it. Picking up your children is not, it's a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual thing to pick up your children. It's not only a physical thing. You pick them up spiritually and show them the truth. Show them the truth. Stop lying to them. First thing, first, and the children. Stop the madness. I'm
And
getting so
stop
pissed off
torturing your
sometimes on this
children.
stuff.
That's true. What I was going to say was that the same with 9/11. I mean, just creating a
You
fake
said you find it
disaster.
back what you wanted
It,
to say.
huh? What did you say?
I said you found back what you wanted to say.
Yes, I wanted to say, it took just a fake little disaster, okay, because they basically sacrificed 3,000 people in 9/11 to get what? The permission for the war on terror, which is an endless concept. On terror is an endless concept. That means for the end of time, there's going to be war on terror. That means terrorism itself, yeah? So all they need, I mean, we are all hoping that something will happen, a miracle will happen, and the system will shift, and we all get up and rise and become, an united people of beauty and peace. And at the same time, all they need is just another little disaster. And they're already talking about it. So what if that what Obama said, that, oh, wait, there's going to be huge hurricanes now coming, what if through the CERN and everything and HARP, they're going to create humongous disasters like that? And I think what we need to do is to just hope that knowing about it is enough and somehow we can gain power to stop things like
I
that.
think the weather manipulation thing. Yeah, I saw something too. There was a machine. They used to pump up a machine, and they used to shoot gas into the clouds and pierce the cloud. The rain would come falling. I saw a YouTube video on that. Jabba posted something on Facebook, and I went to two French guys. It's a video in French, and it's cool. It's called the machine à pluie. The machine à pluie. So they were able to manipulate the weather a long time ago. So I think now they're just getting more advanced. Now they're shooting it right in the cloud seeding and geoengineering,
Yeah.
chemtrails, call it however you want. But these planes are not normals, because last night I saw them again. There was all over the sky here, everywhere. So it's not normal to have that happening. It's not normal that we don't know about it. That us, the people, the inhabitant of this realm called Earth, that we don't know what's going on. We don't even know where we are. This is not normal. This is not what life is intended to be. The Creator didn't intend life to be that way. He didn't, and we weren't intended to suffer. That's not the life, suffering. I don't think so. So what are we gonna wait to wake up? That the whole world's gone astray and lost his way? No, we have to. Anyway, sometimes I get pumped up. Like,
Yeah. Well, we're
we have
we're
to wake
talking
up.
about
We have to wake up.
yeah, we're talking about the silent wars, and a lot of them we don't recognize,
Yeah.
as we mentioned here. Yet the chemtrails are really obvious. I mean, we're all seeing it all over the world, but yet where is the action? Where is the action? Who's doing anything real about it? I don't know. Let's
Yeah.
start. Let's start doing something. I don't know. Let's
But we
join. I
have,
mean,
like,
Jimmy, what would we do if we were going to stop the chemtrails? What would you do?
Well, number one, we've got to try and figure out who these guys are. Again, more order followers. Without these pilots out there, flying these planes around, they would have nothing. Again, we have to be able to find a way to get to these guys and explain to them. Now, a lot of people have talked about what the story. There's a saying in the CIA that the lie is different at every level.
Yeah.
So the lies that they tell one set of people is in one compartment of military or alphabet soup agencies is different from what the lie that they tell somebody in a different department. But these military guys, they're telling these guys that they're saving the world from, global warming. That's one level. Then they're telling them, oh, you're by putting this stuff in the air, we can detect enemy, flying craft, advanced flying craft that we could never be able to detect, and they would come in and they could attack us and bomb us. So you're safe. Again, it's always appealing to the ego of these guys, and also they're being very well paid. Probably better than they could make anywhere else flying a plane. So they are appealing to these guys on an ego level, and these guys actually think that they're serving humanity by spraying this shit in the air. That's how deluded they are.
Well, I have also heard that a lot of them are sworn into silence, and also their lives have been threatened.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that comes with this military service. You give up your free will when you're in the military. Not all these guys are military, but they're ex-military, and they still have that mindset of being order followers and just blindly following and going along. They're just continuing the program when they were active military, if they're not now. But it's that same thing. Men have to stand up and be men and be moral men.
Exactly.
That's part of what the divine masculine is all about, is protecting the weak and protecting the civilization from these psychopaths. Everything's been turned around. Men are now, instead of protecting from these psychopaths, they're serving the psychopaths. So men have to find their own inner strength and their own morality and say, hey, this shit it cannot stand anymore. We've got to stop this. We can't serve these insane psychopaths. We need to stop them. And again, these leaders, they're not doing anything. They're cooking up all these ideas and they're coming up with the plans, but it takes these men to carry it out. And these are the ones that have to wake up and understand who they're serving, who and what they're serving.
Yeah, but do you count on them waking up? I don't see that. If normal people cannot wake up to the fact that we're even being sprayed, how could the military sworn guys be waking up and change it? So that's great and a high hope. Yet it has to be organized action to educate them.
Yeah, well, we have to try. I don't claim to know the best method of doing that. I'm sure there are people who are listening to this who probably do know and probably do have some great ideas, and I'd love to hear from them. I think we would all love to hear from them.
Yeah.
Because human beings are so ingenious in our abilities to create things and to, and the example of that is we have created the world that these insane psychopaths want. We are the ones. We are the creators. They're not the creators. They need us to create everything.
That's right.
We have to stop creating their world and start creating our world, one that will serve everybody in cooperation and abundance and joy and love and happiness. We've created the insane world of the evil psychopath. Nonstop wars, all the poisons in every part of our environment. That's where we've got to stand up and turn this thing around. And there are people out there who have incredible ideas on how this can be done. We may not have them. We're not going to solve the world's problems in today's show. But hopefully there are people who will come forward and say, hey, what about this idea? We could do this and we can do that. Because human beings are endlessly creative. And we need to put our creative abilities to work in ways that will help free humanity from this whole slave system that we're under. We're tax debt war slaves right now.
Yeah, so the order following needs to stop within each one of us.
Yes.
Not just the military guys, but all of us, because we are all order followers.
We're
Yes,
all
yes, but it's critical with these guys because they're the ones who are going to be in your face at one point or another. They're already in your face if you're in the Middle East and other parts of the world. Um, these are the ones, though, that without them, evil cannot survive. It cannot maintain itself. The jackbooted thugs don't exist unless men are willing to become, sellouts and immoral. Plain
Yeah,
and
well,
simple.
in addition to the divine masculine, which needs to be waken up within all men, but divine masculine is within all of us also, whether we are women or men, because divinity, the yin and yang, exists within all of us. And the
Yes.
same way, I need to add up as a divine feminine, the role of the divine feminine is to stop the man who is doing those kind of things,
Yes.
to stop it right at its core and protect the family unit. Yet all the women of the world, as I mentioned in my video, premature ejaculation, most of the women of the world are very, very submissive, and they have given up to the entire set of porn and polyamory and giving up the power and everything. So we need to bring that yin and yang, which the earth is about. The earth is yin yang. The sun and the moon are the yin and yang on top of us, bringing balance to all of us. That balance has to come to all of us. As you said, Jimmy, you know, what is the biggest crime is to be silent. The biggest crime is to be silent about all of these atrocities going on. So yes, they do spray the skies, and it is as criminal as they are if I'm just silent about it and don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I
you're,
And
think.
I
your
think you're
point
as
is,
guilty as they are if you don't do nothing about it. If you know about it, like if you know the definition of stupidity is knowing the truth and not doing anything about it, you're being stupid. If you know the truth and you stay silent, wow, wake up. Now you're not serving humanity at all. You're just propagating the new world order. That's what you're doing. So
Mar,
wake up. If you know the truth, it's important to speak out.
Yes.
Mar, you hit on such an important point with the women and the influence that the women have in the world. They have no idea how powerful they are.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
guarantee you, if the women stop supporting all these order followers, and if they, held the high moral ground and say, no, you are not to go out there and kill people on command. These people have done nothing to harm anyone. You are not operating under self-defense. You are being the aggressor. You are invading other countries out there. You are the ones who are propping up the insane psychopaths. And if women, were to put that to all their men, I guarantee these men would stop in no time because they are not about to, go against that. Women are extremely powerful in that way,
Uh,
and they need to exert their power, exert their moral high ground and their wisdom that they have with these men.
I
Well,
believe.
and they have systematically silenced in this world, so they not only are silenced if they feel and know about things, but they're also scared to come out. What was it, the African or the South American women, that they just stopped giving sex to their men if they went out there and did wrong things. They just refused giving them sex. Well, in some countries you can get killed for that. Yet, in the Western world, I mean, if all the women just stop having sex with these violent men, I mean, they will go crazy. First of all, because, well, I mean, there are prostitutes all over, but whatever.
No, but
It's like, what?
no, but I think women generally are much more stronger than men. I think men have the physical strength, but I think women have the mental strength because they are much more, and they are much more. But that's the reason why they've been suppressing the woman so much over the last few hundred years. Like it's a woman always, because they know women are powerful. First of all, a woman is really intimidating for a man. A man gets intimidated by women. We get intimidated by women sometimes because we know we feel the strength. Me, I know I am like that. If a nice woman with lots of a big vibrational field and a very like you, Mar, you're radiating positive vibes and all that. Like the first time I met you, I was intimidated a bit. I was like, for sure you get that feeling, not now so much because I know you, but at first because but that's where the power of the woman come from, is very much spiritual and intellectual
Mm-hmm.
more than men, because women can do many different things at the same time, where a man can only do one thing. I can only do one. Don't ask me to do two three things at the same time. I'm gonna fuck up on everything. So I can do all one
Yes.
thing. But women have many drawers in their head. That's why I like to have you on the show, Mar, all the time, because it's a different perspective to have a woman on the show. It's a different vibrational thing. Just that. But women are much more powerful than they can ever begin to imagine. That's for sure. I totally agree.
Well, I think women have their own power, and their own power is complementary to the power of the men, and vice versa. That's why it is yin and yang. I really don't believe anyone has more power than anyone else. I think the same female divinity is also within you, Yannick, and
Yeah,
within
yeah,
you, Jimmy, and within all the men, because that power of compassion and beauty of the father has a connection with that sensual amazingness of the mother. They go hand to hand to keep the family unit, which is nothing but the wholeness of the yin and yang together, right? So this is time for all of us to rise up to that power within us, because and then maybe from that balance that rises up between all of us, coming from compassion and coming from our father protective side that is alive, that needs to become alive, maybe the 100 human phenomena would really happen, and we can really change things, you
yeah.
know?
We can have better hope anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we
Well,
just
it's
keep
almost, yeah,
trying.
go ahead.
We just have to keep going and keep doing what we do, and as we learn more and as we learn better ways of getting information out to people, we'll use those.
Yeah,
But I think what we're doing now, and what a lot of other people are doing now, is what needs to be done. Each in our own way. Uh, we're sharing what we know and what we feel is right with other people, and we just have to continue doing that. And there's no other course of action for us.
but the awakening is a must, because once you're awake, you really feel like you are part of the creation and you are the creator, the co-creator. So very important. Men awaken is God. Men awaken is God. Women awaken is God. We're all God and goddesses, but we must wake up. It's a must. If not, we ain't going nowhere. So come. That's what it is. Come together and make it work. It's just
You know,
first
I
of all.
just wanted to say that, to meet functional, amazing men like you guys, I feel so fortunate, and I
Thanks, Mom.
totally pray deep in my soul that all the men in the world, get the vibes that you guys put out, and the way you're such gentlemen, and you care for the world, and you give care in such a amazing way. I just want to say thank you, and may we see all our brothers and all of our fathers get rid of this chains around the necks, and all
Yeah.
the women of the world to be freed up, to come back to their power and work hand in hand with their counterparts to bring this world into the balance and say no to what is wrong. Just say no. That's
I
it.
know.
We
Learn,
all
learn
have
to
to
say no.
start saying no to
Yeah.
what is wrong and say
Exactly.
yes to the transformation that we all deserve.
Learn,
Totally.
learn, learn to say no to what is wrong, and learn to say yes to your life. To say
Exactly.
yes to your life, because many people don't say yes to their life. They never realize who they are and the greatness that they have inside. So say yes to your life. Say no to what is wrong in life, expose it, talk about it, speak your truth. The earth is flat. It's okay. It's okay. It's great. So, but speak out.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. Yes to both of you. Yes to both of you with your wisdom. Thank you.
So we're gonna end this hangout on that. But it was a pleasure, guys, again to be with you, and we'll do that sometime again for sure.
Much love. Thank you. Thank you.
Bless up.
Blessings. Yes.